Health officials in Joplin host the first COVID-19 vaccine clinic in the area.
The head of the CDC gives a timeline for when COVID vaccination should be widely available. I'm Natalie Brand with the efforts to step up distribution.
Some area experts say watching the Super Bowl and cheering for the Chiefs is actually good for your health.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin hosts the area's first coronavirus vaccine clinic. This is KOAM News at 5. Roughly 1,000 area residents received their first doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine in the drive-through style clinic. The Missouri National Guard, the city of Joplin, and the Jasper County Health Department conducted the clinic. Officials hope it'll be a big first step toward ending the pandemic in the area.
The vaccine, it's hopefully the light at the end of the COVID tunnel. You know, everybody still needs to wash those hands and wear those masks and practice social distancing. But yes, vaccine coming. We're very happy.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more about the clinic and from a resident who received a first dose. There appears to be a standoff in Washington over President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. Democrats want it at all costs, and Republicans are questioning the president's promise to be bipartisan. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
President Biden, who traveled to Walter Reed Medical Center to meet with wounded service members, again expressed urgency for passing a COVID relief package. Senate Democrats want to move ahead with the $1.9 trillion relief package he's proposed as early as next week, even if that means using a procedural tactic that would require only a simple majority vote.
Support passing COVID relief through budget reconciliation.
I support passing COVID relief with support from Republicans if we can get it, but the COVID relief has to pass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
New Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen argues it's necessary to get the economy back on track.
The benefits of acting now and acting big will far outweigh the costs in the long run.
But Republican lawmakers, including moderates, question the price tag. Utah's Senator Mitt Romney adds, "I think if the president is serious about working on a bipartisan basis, it would be an immediate blow to that philosophy if on their first major piece of legislation they worked on an entirely partisan basis."
As the administration promises to increase vaccine supply to states starting next week, the head of CDC says there should be enough vaccine by the end of summer to vaccinate everyone over the age of 16.
The White House's COVID response team today singled out states that have vaccinated more than 10% of their adult population.
Alaska, West Virginia, New Mexico, Connecticut, North Dakota, Oklahoma, and South Dakota. Well done.
The administration says FEMA staff are on the ground helping in 8 states. The agency has asked the Pentagon for help operating up to 100 federal vaccination sites nationwide. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
So far in the U.S., nearly 26 million people have had confirmed coronavirus cases, and more than 433,000 people have died. Capitol Police are stepping up security over concerns for lawmakers' safety following the January 6th assault on the Capitol. The acting House Sergeant at Arms created an online portal for Congress members to share their travel plans and help make law enforcement aware of their movements. The acting Chief of Police also wants permanent fencing around the Capitol complex and backup forces ready nearby. Also, the FBI says 2 pipe bombs left at the offices of the RNC and DNC had actually been placed the night before the attack on the Capitol. Authorities in Georgia are investigating a deadly liquid nitrogen leak at a poultry plant. 6 people were killed and a dozen more hurt, 3 critically. Liquid nitrogen is used for refrigeration. When airborne, it's an odorless gas that can displace oxygen and cause loss of consciousness. CBS News has learned members of the company's leadership knew there was a nitrogen leak on Wednesday, but did not want to close the plant for a day to fix the problem. CBS reached out to the company, but did not get a response. Checking in with Doug Hetty now for our first look at the weather. Hi, Doug.
Hey, Dow. It actually turned out to be a decent day for us today. Temperature is really not that bad. as we did go into the 50s for highs, 55 for an afternoon high. So about 10 degrees warmer than what we got to see yesterday. We do have a lot of clouds. A lot of mid and upper level clouds have been increasing over the past several hours, and this is due to our next storm system, which is brewing back to our south and to our west. Look at the rain increasing across parts of Texas down through Oklahoma, and that rain will start to head toward us later on tonight. But at least for the evening, temperature is pretty good. We're sitting near 50. The wind's a little strong. We got these south winds at about 10 to 15, upwards to 20 miles per hour. And as we go through the evening hours, we'll slowly drop back through the mid-40s. Of course, we're going to be talking about rain moving in here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're probably feeling pretty good right about now with the team preparing for their second consecutive Super Bowl. Turns out the Super Bowl can be a real mood booster no matter who you're rooting for. Some local experts say the game brings back a sense of normalcy during a time when a lot of things have been turned upside down as a result of the pandemic. Getting excited about something like cheering for your team can release endorphins or happy hormones.
It's just like exercise. When you can block everything else out and you're happy at that time, nothing else matters. Just like when we talk about self-care, you're in that self-care mode. This is part of your self-care.
Tonight at 6, we're going to meet a local nurse practitioner who uses her love for the Chiefs to spread joy to patients. Still ahead, how the pandemic is affecting traffic accidents.
More Americans are dying in traffic accidents during the pandemic. I'm Naomi Ruckham with crash video showing how faster speeds can increase the risk of injury and death.
And next in Health Watch, more people are getting into a different type of yoga to deal with pandemic stress. Johnson & Johnson says its coronavirus vaccine is 85% effective at protecting against the most severe COVID-19 symptoms and 66% effective against moderate to severe illness. Health officials have been anticipating J&J's vaccine because it requires only one shot versus two. A new study finds pregnant women with serious coronavirus symptoms are at a greater risk of dying than non-pregnant women with the same symptoms. They also found severe illness leads to more serious complications for pregnant women, but mild coronavirus in pregnant women did not mean a greater risk for complications. The pandemic is sparking new interest in a type of exercise that's helping people lift their spirits. Reporter Ian Lee explains from London.
If these people look funny dancing in a park in Cairo, well, that's the point. It's called laughter yoga, and during the seriousness of the pandemic, we could all use a little of this medicine.
There is a lot of depression, there is a lot of anxiety, and people feel so super stressed. So laughter is the solution to the problems we have right now.
Stretching and stitches has taken on a new importance these days. With COVID restrictions, instructors around the world are moving laughter online. Odette, better known as Lady Ha Ha, teaches a class in the UK. And there's real science to back up the benefits. Doctors in California track the effects of laughter on the brain and body. Research shows it lowers blood pressure and reduces the level of stress hormones. It also helps boost the immune system.
Laughter changes the biochemistry within minutes. We are swamped with endorphins and serotonin and happy maker hormones.
And watching them in fits of giggles, it's kind of hard not to join in. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
A lot of researchers believe forcing yourself to laugh has the same benefit as the body can't tell the difference between a fake giggle and a real one. No joke. A new study finds no association between type 2 diabetes and developing breast cancer. Researchers say the reason might be that most women in the study were taking a medication called metformin to treat their diabetes, which could help reduce the risk of ER-positive breast cancer, the most common type of breast cancer. London researchers say intermittent fasting, a weight loss plan involving restricted eating, only consuming food within an 8-hour period every day, is simple, easy to follow, and effective. They tracked 50 participants with obesity who tried to follow the plan for 12 weeks. 60% of them stuck with the schedule for 3 months, and a quarter of the participants lost 5% of their body weight. Doug Heddy is up next with his complete forecast. And a little bit later, details of a lawsuit against investment app Robinhood for clamping down on GameStop stock trading.
Well, it turned out to be a warmer day for us today. We warmed up a bit yesterday, and then today we got into the 50s for highs, so about 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. And you can see we're about 10 to 12 degrees warmer right now compared to what we were at this time last night. So a pretty good day for us today. Still, most of us sitting upper 40s to near 50 degrees. 48 in Chanute, 50 in Miami, and Neosho at 51. Carthage also sitting at about 51 degrees. And our south winds kind of helping those temperatures warm up. We've had these southerly winds in that kind of 10 to 20 mile per hour range, and they're going to stay at least decently strong throughout the evening into the overnight hours tonight, and really even into the daytime hours tomorrow. Temperatures pretty steady. We're going to kind of hold into the upper 40s throughout the evening hours. Eventually, we'll drop back to about 45 later on tonight. But the clouds are starting to thicken up. They'll continue to thicken up as we go through the rest of the overnight hours ahead of our next storm system, which you can start to see it brewing down through Oklahoma, parts of Texas, and it's pulling out into the southwestern parts of the U.S., and this is going to zoom right on through over about the next 24 hours, giving us some pretty good amounts of rain late tonight into tomorrow morning. Already that rain is developing down through Oklahoma, Texas, even stretching back into parts of New Mexico. So let's go through time. Clouds continue to thicken. We'll get a few random showers in here after midnight, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, but it really starts to pick up by 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Showers, could even see a few rumbles of thunder in there or here, and then bands of showers, a few thunder showers through the morning hours, and then the heaviest rain will start to exit by early afternoon. By late afternoon, we get into the dry slot, so the drier air of the storm system, so we'll just have a few random showers. But still, temperatures are going to be pretty good. 45 to start, 51 by noon, high temp at 55. It's going to be very windy. We're going to have those southerly winds at about 15 to 25 throughout the daytime hours. This whole storm system will exit tomorrow night. We'll have the clouds kind of sticking around into Sunday morning. I really think mostly cloudy skies on Sunday. We'll get some sun by the afternoon, but in general, a lot of clouds and much cooler as our temperatures are only going to make it right around 40 for an afternoon high. Rainfall amounts, most of us, pretty good amount. I think a half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. There could be even some isolated 1-inch amounts with this storm system rolling through. Down the road after this system, we'll start to warm back up on Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday look pretty good. Then our next storm system rolls in late Wednesday into Thursday. This is going to give us rain. It could give us a little bit of snow on the backside as it pushes through. And then we have another system that drops in on Saturday of next week that could give us a little bit of snow. So our pattern actually starts to pick up just a bit over the next few days. 55 tomorrow, 40 on Sunday, 49 on Monday, up to 57. By Tuesday, 58 on Wednesday, and then turning much colder with that next storm system rolling in on Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
With several days with highs in the 50s, those are certainly welcome.
Yeah, I'll take them, especially in late January, early February.
You bet. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, we're going to look at traffic accident trends during this pandemic. First, though, we honor our Purple Heart recipient, Thomas Langley, served in the U.S. Army in 1969 and 1970. The West Mineral, Kansas native was stationed in Vietnam, and we salute Sergeant Thomas Langley, a 4-state hero. A Robinhood app user filed a class action lawsuit alleging the app clamped down on GameStop trading purposefully and knowingly to manipulate the market. Small-time investors have been using investment apps like Robinhood to pile into GameStop in a bid to cause larger hedge funds that have been betting against it to lose money. The suit accuses Robinhood of breaching its fiduciary duties and, quote, implied covenant of good faith. Consumers slowed spending in December. According to the Commerce Department, spending fell 0.2% as households cut back for the second month in a row amid worries about the economy. Meanwhile, among Americans who are working, incomes rose 0.6%. With people working at home, there are fewer drivers on the road, but that hasn't stopped deadly accidents. In fact, they're increasing. This follows a trend that's seen more teens dying in crashes. Reporter Naomi Ruckham explains.
Last year, police in Texas found a car in pieces after a violent crash. 3 teenagers were killed when the vehicle they were in hit a tree and split in half.
It does appear that the vehicle might have been traveling at a high rate of speed.
A new report from the Governor's Highway Safety Association found from 2015 to 2019, nearly 5,000 teen drivers and passengers died in speed-related traffic accidents. The problem is increasing during the pandemic, and not just among teens. Even with fewer drivers on the road, traffic deaths for all ages went up 4.6% in the first 9 months of 2020 compared to the previous year.
The highways are wide open. Local roads are wide open, so I can go at higher rates of speed.
New crash tests show even moderate increases in speed can be dangerous. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety looked at 2 similar vehicles, one going 40 miles per hour, the other 56. At 40, the area around the driver mostly stays intact, but at the faster speed, the impact is much more severe.
And a likelihood of brain injury, facial fractures, and even lower leg injuries.
IIHS President David Harkey says Americans need to slow down.
It's not worth saving a few minutes on a trip and adding that increase in risk of a possible injury or the fact that you could even avoid the crash altogether.
Harkey says states need to use law enforcement and speed cameras to enforce current speed limits and keep people from driving too fast. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says during the first 9 months of 2020, more than 28,000 people died in crashes. Lowe's gives its employees another round of bonuses. The retailer says it'll dole out $80 million to frontline retail workers who've worked through the pandemic. This marks the 7th round of bonuses for hourly workers at Lowe's. A new lawsuit claims there's no tuna in Subway's tuna sandwiches. A couple of customers said they were tricked into buying something that lacked the ingredients they thought they were getting. In the complaint, they say the tuna is a mixture of various concoctions that have been blended together to imitate tuna's appearance. Subway has not commented. Final check of the forecast next. CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the first COVID-19 vaccine clinic held in the Joplin area. Plus details of a police standoff in Miami, Oklahoma. And the Eastern Shawnee Tribe opens a new learning center in Wyandotte. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. A rare Botticelli portrait sold for $92.2 million at auction at Sotheby's in New York, a world record for any work by the Italian artist. The Renaissance artist's young man holding a medal is one of only about a dozen of his portraits known to survive today. The 15th century work had carried a pre-sale estimate of $80 million, and Sotheby's had thought it might fetch more than $100 million. $92 million, Doug. It's not even new. That's a used painting. 92 million bucks.
Pricing.
Yes.
We're doing weather?
Yes, you're doing weather.
All right, it looks okay for us tonight. We are going to have the clouds increasing, but we are going to get some showers, even a few thunderstorms in here late tonight into tomorrow morning. Some very heavy amounts of rain, 1/2 inch to 1 inch.
See you at 6. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.